want to talk about some Ayurvedic perspectives on sex. And I want to note that sleep, sex, and diet are the 3 pillars to health. Things that are not often talked about in our normal conventional day-to-day lives. I'm Lila, this is the Virtual Natural Healing Clinic, and I am on a mission to restore natural healing for the potent, dynamic, dramatic, and effective modality it is that can help so many people in this world. However, it's gotten a little bit diluted, chaotic, and confusing out there in the world, especially in the world of the internet. And what this means for you is you get a place that helps you restore your health and happiness, educates you and empowers you with good information that doesn't bypass you as an individual for clicks or, trendy trends. So let's talk about sex and the Ayurvedic view of it. Now, Ayurveda thinks that sex is a birthright. Like health and happiness, good sex is also something that you, as a human on this earth, deserve to experience. But what does that actually look like in practice? How long can you have sex for? Do you turn 60 and the sex abilities go off? That's what we're diving into. So first of all, Ayurveda believes that you should be able to have sex, as much sex for whatever period of your life you want to have sex in until the day you die. They think that your body should be in a good, stable enough, healthy enough place that you are not physiologically prevented from having sex. So if you want to be able to have sex, you should be able to have sex, and your body should be able to help you make that happen. We have seen a sharp decline in people's sexual functions as they age. I'm thinking about men with performance issues and low testosterone and a lack of libido, and a lot of women out there with a lot of lack of libidos, a lot of issues self-lubricating, a lot of issues with things like vaginal atrophy, and there seems to be a normalization of a sharp decline in sexual functionality as we age. Ayurveda says that's not true, that doesn't have to happen, it doesn't have to be like that. You should be able to have sex as long into your life as you want. So if you are experiencing sexual dysfunction, I want you to know that although we have normalized that, it is not normal, and there are many things that can be done. Again, good sex is a birthright, and it's not something that ends when you turn 40. Now, one thing to consider is sex takes a lot of energy. It takes a little tiny piece of your life force every time you have it. And good sex within the confines of a loving and happy relationship can restore some energy and give you that back. You have to make sure that you're in good health to engage in regular sex. Ayurveda says you can have sex as frequently as your body allows. And some people who are in frailer or less healthy states will have to dial back in the amount of sex they engage in until they are healthy enough to be able to expend the energy on sex and not put that energy into the healing things that their body needs to do. Now, Ayurveda is really big on different constitutional types. So we each have a blueprint that basically tells us what our strengths are and what can go wrong in our health. And each person's constitutional type may allow them to have more or less sex depending on these physiological and characteristics that they have. So without going into too much Ayurvedic lore, like the Vata type, this is the type of person or constitution that can have the least amount of sex, and they might only be able to engage in sex like once or twice a month without it becoming depleting or net negative to them. Or they need to do a lot of things to make sure that they have literally the nutrients and the things their body needs to have sex, or they're going to end up very depleted. Now there are people in the middle, our Pitta types, that can have a moderate amount of sex. They might get away with having sex weekly, or more than that if they are healthy and in balance, as much of balance that they can achieve being that constitution. So this constitution is going to be able to have a little bit more sex, but again, it's going to be individualistic, and depending on how healthy that person is and what resources their body has and where those resources need to go. So if you are super stressed or you're getting sick all the time or you're dealing with a chronic disease or chronic symptoms, you might need to dial back in that arena to help your body heal and help the energy and resources go to other places and where it needs to go. Now, the third constitutional type is a kapha type in Ayurveda, and they can have the most sex because they have the most stamina and least amount of health issues. So if you are the kapha type, you can definitely have a little bit more of an engaging sex life, and good for them, right? But again, the same thing goes if they have certain symptoms or dealing with certain health issues, they need to dial it back because their energy needs to go other places to heal. So overall, health, happiness, and good sex are your birthright, and your body should be able to help you have good sex for as long as you want in your life. That means you should be 80 and still rocking it if that's what you choose to do. But if you are in ill health, you need to be aware that sex takes energy, and that might not be energy you have to give at the moment in your life. So focusing on making sure your body's well rested, well resourced, and not overly toxic is really important. You can also use your constitution, your individual makeup or blueprint, as a way to tell how much sex you should have to maintain the balance that you need to maintain. All these things are very individualized, but we have some shortcuts and blueprints to help us see what's what. Now, we have a treasure trove of good aphrodisiacs and things that can help balance your hormones and ensure that you are having the good sex that you want to have. So if you're interested and you want help with any sexual dysfunction that you're experiencing, the Virtual Natural Healing Clinic is here to help. We can do Ayurvedic health assessments to help figure out your unique constitution and blueprint and optimal sex timetable. We can also help bring in tools to restore your body to homeostasis or balance so it can have the sex that it wants to have, you want to have, to maintain your health and happiness. Sex is absolutely a part of life. We need to talk about it more, and we need to make sure that people have the resources that they need so their body can do what it wants to do. All right, I'm Lila. This is the Virtual Natural Healing Clinic, and you should subscribe for educational and empowering information on your health journey, and reach out, comment, let me know if there's topics you want covered or other things you want discussed. We are here to help you.